starting off with a look at Holiday World, one of the latest attractions there in Santa Claus, Indiana.
And this is one of Chuck's favorite places to celebrate his big adventure. He is retiring, of course, after 40 years of service to the community and here at Channel 13.
He's going to tell us more about that new ride there called Good Gravy.
Yes.
Yes. But good Friday morning to you, and glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise. We do have a weather impact alert day to tell you about across central Indiana today.
So we want to check in with Chuck with kind of what we need to know about there. I know you're having fun there at Holiday World. Yeah. I'm glad everything is going well, but we do have this weather that we really kind of we need to keep tabs on for tonight, right, Chuck?
Yeah, and even here this morning, the reason we're inside this morning, Julia and Jalea, and I totally blame Matt Standridge 100%, is we have a severe thunderstorm watch. I'm not blaming him, it's the way it happened. We have a severe thunderstorm watch here right now, and we've got some thunder roaring. But you know, it's okay. We're going to have a good time here today. And as you notice, these cars, notice it, that's a gravy boat. That is gravy coming off of the first car here, and gee willikers, that is some good gravy, and that is the name of this ride. And coming up in just a few minutes, in fact, around 6:35-ish, I will tell you, what in the world does gravy and Indiana have with a thrill ride? Well, a lot, and we'll explain it all for you in just a few minutes. I do need to explain the weather because we do have a lot going on here in southern Indiana, and later today we'll have more going on in the central part of the state. So let's show you current conditions, and it is warm and it is muggy out there right now. 69 officially in the state capital, 69 in Bedford. Good morning, Kokomo. You're at 66, 70 in Muncie and Richmond, and 67 on the Indiana State University campus this morning. This is a look at radar. If you notice down at the south end of your screen, that yellow area, those are the severe thunderstorm watches that we're experiencing here at Santa Claus, Indiana right now. But we're fine in Indianapolis. However, the dynamic tension in the atmosphere, warm front to the north, cold front to the west, is going to result in this being a weather impact alert day today. And by today, I mainly mean this afternoon and evening, 4 to 10 p.m., with the worst storms we believe from 6 to 9. And our impact tonight could be lightning, large hail, winds up to 80 miles per hour with a few tornadoes possible. So this is some pretty serious stuff. And we're going to hear more from Matt in just a bit. Also, we're going to hear from the president here of Holiday World as to what's coming up this summer. And again, we're going to focus on some good gravy a little bit later on today. But good gravy, Matt, we've had some problems in traffic earlier this morning. And how are we doing out there right now?
Hey, good morning, Chuck. It's great to see you. You're like a storm magnet. Everywhere you go, storms seem to follow. Looks like a new storm's coming to you right next here in the next 15 minutes. But traffic is now taking a break. We had a closure there on I-70 with a fire right by the Hancock and Marion County line. We had a crash there on 465 near Meridian Street earlier, but now everything's moving fine. We're going to take you a little bit farther north and east up 69, headed into Delaware County. This is a live look close to State Road 67, close by to Yorktown. Yorktown, the Tigers will be hosting a boys baseball game against the Wapahani Raiders. We have a lot of games this evening. So when it comes to the forecast, Julia, it gets really important. We'll have more on the timeline of thunderstorms here in a bit.
Thank you, Matt. Your time is 6:03. Right now, we're working to find out what caused a large police presence on that ramp to 465. Just a few hours ago, it opened back up after police had it blocked off for hours.
Yeah, we do know this actually started out as a chase on I-70 that ended about an hour and a half ago. So right now we know it began with that when we picked it up in Hancock County. We have some video of that. You can see the headlights coming towards you in this video. NDOT cameras showing that chase on I-70.
And we don't know why police were chasing this car or if there were any injuries here. But we have reached out to the responding officers to see what they can share with us. And as soon as we learn more, we'll let you know here on 13 Sunrise. Well, also happening overnight, we're working to find out what caused this fire that you see burning underneath I-70 on the east side.
You can see this is near 21st and Sherman Drive near Pogues Run. You can see how the smoke is kind of billowing up out from underneath the interstate. So again, we still don't know what caused it, but the flames were put out, we know, within about 15 minutes of the first call. There's also really no stopping of traffic, so there was no disruption there. But again, we've reached out to IFD for some more information. And this morning, we're trying to find out what led to a deadly shooting on the city's east side. We know this happened yesterday at an apartment complex on Jamestown Court near East 46th Street and North Arlington Avenue. Investigators tell us they found the victim dead at the scene. Metro Police say while investigating, they did arrest a person that was in that area on an unrelated warrant. They are still trying to determine if that person was involved in the shooting. Also this morning, a person is in critical condition after a shooting on the northwest side of Indianapolis. This happened around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon on Warman Avenue near 16th and Lafayette. Police say they found the person inside of a vehicle. We're trying to learn what led up to the gunfire and if police have identified a possible suspect.
A Lafayette man is awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty to murdering his 3-month-old son and beating his wife with a tire iron. Court documents in this case say Elizard Moneas was upset with his wife in August of 2024. His wife says he left the apartment with his 3-month-old son Jacob before returning without the son and hitting her multiple times. Police issued a silver alert for the baby, but ultimately found his body in a bucket inside of a Lafayette apartment. Moneas is due back in court July 1st. The legal team for a former Morgan County teacher accused of having inappropriate relationships with students says that they plan to use a mental illness defense. Brittany Fortenberry's attorneys are now asking the court to appoint 2 to 3 doctors to assess her mental competence. According to court records, the defense argues they believe Fortenberry has a mental illness, but that would need to be confirmed by qualified experts. Fortenberry is facing 29 charges after several young boys came forward alleging that the former teacher drugged them and had sex with them on multiple occasions. DCS reached out to parents of potential victims following the initial arrest, and that led to more charges.
Coming up on 6:06 this morning, Newfields is responding to a lawsuit filed by a former employee over alleged racial discrimination. Ernest Guys was the chief diversity officer and chief technical officer at Newfields. He was hired in February of 2022, but dismissed in January of this year. Guys' federal lawsuit claims he was retaliated against for reporting race discrimination on behalf of himself and others. Newfields sent 13 News a statement about that lawsuit, saying in part, Mr. Guys' departure was in no way related to discrimination, including race, gender, or age. Newfields views has claims as retaliation for the termination of his employment and a wholly inappropriate attempt to damage the personal and professional reputation of Newfields leadership and the institution itself.
IndyGo says it plans to increase its bus fares, or it could, for the first time in 16 years.
So we want to break it down for you. Just the number certainly sounds large, but let's take a look. $1.75 is really the base fare right now, but that could raise to $2.75. A day pass would cost you $6, and if you take the bus every day, a one-week pass would be almost $25. IndyGo leaders point to inflation, fuel prices, and increased labor cost as the reason behind the proposal.
Reasonable. I think most people would agree that it would be unreasonable to think we would never increase fares. So if we're going to do it after 16 years, it sort of feels like now is as good a time as any. It's going to be hard no matter what, but we want to at least talk about it and hear what the community says.
And the prices haven't gone up just yet. They have to vote on this new policy, and that vote will be August 21st. Well, heads up drivers, before you plan out your weekend, crews are shutting down 3 ramps on I-69 for repairs there. These are ramps all on the southbound side at Benford Boulevard and parts of southbound 465. And the closures are scheduled from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Saturday. So if you take these ramps during that time or plan to tonight, you want to plan for a different way home.
Well, this morning we're getting you ready for a busy weekend out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Today is Fast Friday. That's the final practice day before qualifying weekend, and that'll decide the starting places of the 33 drivers for the Indy 500. Let's get out to Anna Chalker, who is live at IMS, letting you know what you can expect this weekend, how much things cost. Good morning, Anna.
Hey there, good morning, ladies. A fun and full day today, along with the weekend as we get ready for all of the qualifying rounds tomorrow. So gates will open today at 10 with practice from noon to 6 and the qualification draw from 6:15 to 7. And yesterday it was the first practice with no weather delays in the Fast Six. Well, let me tell you, they were fast. We had reigning 500 champion Joseph Newgarden topping the charts, then Scott Dixon P2, Connor Daly P3, then Pato Award, Ryan Hunter-Ray, and Alex Palou rounded out the six. But before all of this practice, Tony Kanaan was back on the track completing his refresher. He's the backup driver for Kyle Larson this year, who is doing the double once again. TK says he was fired up to be back in an Indy car.
Awesome. Yeah. As usual, I think I came down pit lane after my warm-up lap, and we did an installation lap, and I said, I never really took it for granted, this place or driving an Indy car, but after 2 years, I'm like, I had the coolest job in the world for 26 years.
He really does have the coolest job. Let me tell you, it'll cost $25 to get in for Fast Friday today. And coming up at 6:45, we'll have IMS President Doug Bowles join us this morning to talk about the excitement of this weekend. It's really making it real that the 500 is next Sunday. A crazy couple of weeks ahead, but we'll have all of that coming up for you guys at 6:45. Live at IMS, Anna Chalker, 13 News.
Hey, Anna, we are tracking lots of sun there at the track until about 6 o'clock. We'll let you know what kind of severe threats we're talking about for across central Indiana. We're back in 2.